Thank you, Professor Nolin. I should say my name is Dr. Paul Kiwanuka, Dr. PK. I'm not going to even try to say anything medical. After these guys, no. And there's a table there that if I went wrong, I have a feeling. Task, yeah? I haven't come with any presentations or bells and whistles, but I did come with a book. The reason why I came with this book, and this relates to what Dr. Apollo Chikumi said. Before I transferred back to Uganda, I bought, this is Lang. Some of you might have come across Lang. Is it still around? Internal medicine. I bought this in third year, when I was getting my third year in 1988. A year or two back, okay? At that time, that's before I transferred here, so now you know this one. Right? At that time, when it came to Alzheimer's, I checked today. So the fact that I could remember that I had this book means long-term memory is still there, right? Now, I checked this morning, and in the index, Alzheimer's is not there. This is Lang from 1983, but by 1988 is what we're still using. It's referring, I'm relating it to what Dr. Apollo Chikumi said, that we have learned a lot and we are changing the way, not only the nomenclature, but the way we look at it. Alzheimer's was not there in this index. So that's the medicine I learned, okay? Don't be afraid, we've upgraded it. What was there on page 165 was a section on organic mental disorders. Alzheimer's or dementia, the whole of dementia is here. That is the extent. So when you look at the factor that from then until now, and the fact that you're actually having a grand round about dementias, Parkinson's with dementias and Alzheimer's, you realize how much has actually been done. But it also gives us the other aspects. We realize how much needs to be done. My mother had Alzheimer's disease. How did we find out? I'm a doctor, a couple of my brothers are doctors. But it was my children who noted first the changes that made us doctors ask ourselves, is there an issue here? My children were much younger now one of them is their 20s, okay? At that time, we were fortunate because one, we're educated, two, we know people to go through, three, my sister, who incidentally went to Addenbrooke's, where one of these was done, was based in Sweden, and I took my mother there, where she was actually attended to by one of the guys who was involved in developing Aricept, that you now know as donezepam. So we were fortunate. But you've heard that the extent of the public health issue is growing. There are an estimated 50 million people with dementia worldwide. In 10 years' time, we're expected to be 80 million. 20 years after that, we're expected to be 150 million. More frightening is between 60 to 70% of all new cases are in our countries. Should I repeat that? Yes. More frightening, between 60 to 70% of all new cases are in our countries. Countries like Uganda, and that's at the moment. But by the time you guys have been running around being a non-clinical doctor, half as long as I have, the number of people above the age of 50 in Uganda that you are going to be seeing is going to have significantly increased. We're getting healthier, we're living longer. Regardless of all the non-communicable diseases, it's going to have increased. So the number you're going to be dealing with, clinically, is going to increase. I will add to that, the number of people you're going to be dealing with personally, with Alzheimer's and other dementias, is going to increase. This is one of the reasons why we started the Uganda Alzheimer's Association. I've been working with Professor Nolin on this and some of the other professors and other people who aren't in the medical field, where what we intend to do is not to back up what you're doing, but to work with you. We've heard Dr. Kiwanuka talk about awareness. We've heard about the fact that, as you said, a lot of people, and as Dr. Nankabura said, a lot of people make the assumption that this person is being bewitched. Okay? So because of that, we have a lot of patients who are not, or we have a lot of people who have dementias who are not actually coming for medical care. I will add to this that, believe it or not, 62% of health workers in the world, we conducted an international worldwide study with the Alzheimer's Disease International. It's a UK-based organization. It's an umbrella organization of all the Alzheimer associations in the world and the WHO. It was the largest single study that's ever been done. And one of the findings was 62% of health workers consider Alzheimer's to be a normal aging process. We've just seen that, and we've seen it emphatically, it is not. You wonder why when I say that, I'll tell you to clap your hands for yourselves. Go on, then I'll tell you why. 62% of health workers worldwide think Alzheimer's is a normal aging process. How many people do we have here? There are 100, 120? You see, what we're seeing here is the start of the fact that significantly fewer than 62% of the health workers in Uganda will think of Alzheimer's as a normal process. The importance of what you are doing and working with us as the Uganda Alzheimer's Association is not only the awareness, but is working together from a policy point of view. Dr. Harriet, part of what she was saying related to that, how you deal with elderly people, but in that and in the support, there's policy involved, there's national strategy involved. If Alzheimer's worldwide was a country, right now it would be the 18th richest country in the world. But 70% of new cases are in our countries. So, if we start calculating what the economic burden and cost is going to be on us as a country, and us as individuals, believe you me, I know what the cost and burden is as individuals, as an individual. And on our side, we're all educated. I'm the only one who lives in the country. My siblings are all based either in the UK or the States or Sweden, etc. Our parents were all educated, tertiary education, etc. But we felt it, and we're all learning, okay? Translate that to the person who does not have the privilege that you have, to the majority of patients that you are going to see. Translate the concept of the economic burden at an individual basis. We've heard that most of the patients are women. Most of the caregivers are women. What happens in Africa, the caregivers, because of Alzheimer's or dementia, education stops. And that's the truth. My mother, after diagnosis, maybe it's because of the way we handled the other disease conditions, we keep on being asked, how come she lasted so long? And she did, and we were very lucky with that, okay? But other people who do not have what we have, the caregivers, especially young women, their education stops. It's the end. And that is the truth, okay? Where there are no caregivers, the patient's life is abysmal. You heard that in the end, total dependence on care. And that is the truth. We had round the clock. Again, I contributed, my father contributed, my brothers contributed, etc. So we could afford to have round the clock, not nursing care, personal care. Because there's a point beyond which you're not doing much, you know? The person is just there. Now, carry that in your mind to the village. The life is abysmal. Reason being that there is the thought that the person has been bewitched, or the person is this, the person is that, without realizing that this is a disease condition that can be managed. I know I had only about 5 minutes. So just using that, I wanted to use those few words, those examples, to stress to you that Alzheimer's, even though it seems rather esoteric, it isn't. It is going to increase. You are going to see it more and more. You are going to be dealing with caregivers, and they are difficult people. They are very, very difficult people, especially as you come towards the end. You are going to have to learn how to deal with caregivers. But one of the ways that we can address this issue is if we start working together. For example, caregivers, once we've got our association going, we can actually help you as health workers, as clinicians, working with the caregivers to help them understand that this is irreversible, this is where you can get care, etc. Okay? But above everything else, I would like to end up by thanking you for having me here. This is the first time I've ever actually stood on this side of a Davis Lecture Theatre ground. Come on! Next time when I do come, I'm going to sit there so everyone can assume that I'm as clever as that. That's my prime purpose of here. Members, and guess what? If you join now, I'm not even going to charge you a cent until I get your name. No, actually, on a very serious note, one of the things we would like to call on is to call on you as health workers, students as well, who are health workers, and as doctors, to join us as the association. Where you make a great deal of contribution is, it's not only the financial, and that is the least of it, and that is not what we look for. What we look for is support amongst people who can discuss with each other, amongst people who can come in when they're free to go and see patients, or more to the point, to go and see patients' carers. I'm sure that Dr. Harriet knows that there's a very great need there for carers to actually give them support. And then also, because this is the heart of the medical factory of brain power in this country, so to speak. Yes, because of that, you are the ones who keep us up to date at the changes. I mean, I learned a new word today, tauopathy. I knew about whatever, but tauopathy, you see? So you're the people who would actually give us the knowledge. And how would we get
Sorry, before you approach us as members, you have not actually told us what your association does.
The Uganda Alzheimer Association
and
is ready
where your offices are located, and how we can get the services from the association.
I couldn't escape them, could I? The Uganda Alzheimer Association, in functionality, is relatively new. It was formed a number of years ago, but we are beginning to function now. Our website is www.ugandaalzheimer.org. That is our URL. We expect the website to be out by within a week. Yes. I would like to introduce one of my colleagues who's going to help us put up the website. Carol. She's working with us on a volunteer basis. The Uganda Alzheimer Association has been formed to focus on a number of things initially. Supporting caregivers and supporting those, or better put, we are here to support those affected by Alzheimer's disease and other dementias. That's not only the caregivers, and not only, that's the caregivers and those who are affected by Alzheimer's, but also supporting the health workers in managing Alzheimer's disease. The other initial focus would be to increase and raise awareness in the general population and amongst health workers for the reasons that have been stated, and also to start a program. We want to call it a Ray of Hope, a program that is going to, that's going to be the sport program actually. A program called SEND, which is, we're going to use to address the issues of policy within government, address the issues of healthcare financing for the aged, which even though it has come onto the radar, it's still relatively low. Our offices are in industrial area at a place called Design Hub. There are a number of offices there. That's number 3 Barter Close industrial area. The best thing to do is to visit our website once it's up in a week, and our contact details will be there. Thank you.